Pickleball Show with Curtis Reese is brought to you in part by Gavin Fight of Resolute RE, the commercial real estate experts. Resolute RE is helping to bring more pickleball courts to the Lone Star State with free market analysis, site selection, and lease negotiations for your next pickleball center or restaurant or retail store. You name it, we can help. Ready to elevate your game? Visit the link in the episode description to learn more.
Tin. I think it's kind of gross. I mean, some people do. I don't like it. You like coffee?
Yes, but flavored coffee, not legit coffee. Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'm going to put her right on to it. We have got the director of minor league pickleball. She has a great bio, but I just want to keep it plain simple. She's a president of a very important piece to the sport of pickleball, probably if not the most important part, the minor leagues pickleball. So without Carol, how do I say your last name? Luelf?
Caroline Luelf, like self.
Oh, why didn't you pronounce that in the email? Caroline Luelf. That's it.
Yes,
All right.
you got it. Yes,
I mess up names all the time. Well, thanks for coming. Thanks for taking time to come on our show here. I'm your host, Curtis Reese. Welcome to the show, and please subscribe to Spotify, iTunes, and we're on other stuff now. But without further ado, let's go with the way of pickleball with Caroline Luelf. How are you? Talk to us. How'd you get started? All that good stuff.
Say that again. What was the last part?
The way of pickleball. Tell us how, what, where, when, why it got started. I know you wrote it to me, but you get to tell us.
Yes.
Please do.
Well, can be a long story, fun story, short story, whichever way you want to take
It's
it.
your show.
Minor league pickleball is a very different kind of format, right? So it's a team event with 2 males and 2 females, and like most people, I love playing pickleball. I love playing tournaments. I can play every day, all day, if you ask me to. If I could, not that I can play every day, but yeah, I'm always trying to figure out ways to play more pickleball. And so, minor league pickleball is a new concept. It just came through just a few years ago through Major League Pickleball. And one day, my husband saw an ad on Facebook of an event coming in Kansas City, and he was like, well, this sounds cool, and it definitely sounds different than the standard tournament.
Yeah.
So let's just give it a whirl. Let's go for it. So we put a little team together, drove up to Kansas City from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Nice.
Had a blast.
Yeah.
We actually won the division, so of course that made it even more fun. And just really had a ton of fun. And I was like, I really like this. This is really cool. This is different. I have played several dozen tournaments, and this one was so unique than anything else I had experienced. So that was my into minor league pickleball. And last year I ended up playing, I think, 11 minor league pickleball events. So just a little addicted. I'm on going to like 14 of them, I think, because of my work and stuff. So that's kind of just the starting point of minor league pickleball. And so it was in Kansas City, and my husband and I were driving every month to go play in Kansas City from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we decided, well, why not bring it to Oklahoma? There's no minor league pickleball in Oklahoma, so we figured out a way to bring it to Oklahoma.
Wow!
And from there, we actually hosted one of the largest minor league pickleball events year to date back then last summer.
That's so awesome.
And so obviously minor league and DUPR was like, who's this lady?
Yeah, exactly.
Her first event, she's already breaking the records.
I love it.
And so,
long
story short, a couple months later, they recruited me, and now I work for DUPR for minor league pickleball, and now I'm the director of minor league pickleball, which is not what I was intending a year and a half ago, but here I am. So
look at her showing off. Whatever. I'm kidding. That's awesome. That's how I got to. This is going on for 2 years. I mean,
nice.
I was like you. I was like, you and your husband are like, screw it, let's do it, man. And I've been. Anyway, more downfalls, but I've been to too many peaks. But the peaks I've been to do not surpass the amount of valleys I've been in. But I'm glad to hear that you started there. So you started MILP last year. Is that right?
Well, minor league pickleball officially launched at the end of 2022. Oh. And then last year was its first inaugural season.
Oh, yeah.
And it has taken off. People really enjoy playing the team aspect of pickleball. It's just such a different way of playing in a tournament.
Can you explain that to our listeners and viewers what that is, please, with Caroline Luelf?
Yeah.
Director of pickleball, director of pickleball at Minor League Pickleball? Talk to us.
Yes. So with minor league pickleball, the reason it's different is when you go to what I would call like a standard pickleball tournament.
Okay.
Usually you play one day. If you play singles, you play that on one day. So let's say that's Friday. Then if you play gender doubles, you play that on Saturday. Then if you play mixed doubles, let's say you play that on Sunday. It might shift city to city, but that's usually it's like a 3-day event if you want to play all 3 disciplines.
That's awesome.
And it's the usual side out scoring where you go play, you play a match, and then you got to wait around, figure out who your next people are if it's the regular standard tournament format. And you're kind of a lot of unknowns. You're just kind of at the whim kind of thing. Minor league pickleball takes a 3-day event and just compresses it down into 1 day.
1 day event. That's awesome.
1 day event. You create your team, 2 males, 2 females, and a match consists of first your women's doubles game. Immediately following, you play your men's doubles game. Immediately following that, you play your first mixed game. So you put, female, male together, and then your second mixed game. And now after 4 games, which is rally scoring, and these are games to 21, and there's some other funkiness to it, but basically games to 21 rally scoring. After those 4 games, if you're tied, you also play a dream breaker to decide the winner of the match, which is a singles.
I'm excited. Keep going.
Yeah, it's a singles game, but all 4 players play because they rotate in. So you play 4 rallies, then the next player goes in, then the next player after 4 rallies each. So in one match, you could potentially play your gender doubles, your mixed doubles, and a little bit of singles. So we literally compressed it all down into 1 day. And in minor league pickleball, because of the way we do it, is you play 3 matches. You have a 3-match guarantee, which is 6 games to 21 guarantee.
Wow.
No other tour, no other tournament offers this and guarantees this. Now you'll have other tours that will be like, oh, we'll do round robins or brackets. So you're going to be guaranteed, 3 games. 5 games, but usually it's dependent on how many teams. So if you have 4 teams in your pool, you're only guaranteed 3 games to 15 generally. And so what we like to say at minor league is like, we are guaranteeing more play than any other type of tournament, any other type of tour. And we're doing it so that when you start, it's play, 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 play until you're done. And then after a round robin pool play of these teams, they go into a bracket playoff to decide, the winner and that kind of thing. But you can literally play.
That's awesome.
In some events, you can play 12 games in a day, and you play, it's boom, boom, boom. You generally don't have wait times in between your matches, unless maybe your opponent's not quite done with their match. But so it's different. So someone like me, I have 4 kids. We own business. I have a full-time job. So in the past, for us to play tournaments, it's like, oof, that's like a whole weekend, right? Because you have to commit to so many days.
Yeah.
Well, with minor league pickleball, I still like the other tournaments. I still play the other tournaments. But with minor league pickleball, it's a 1 day. We can go play. We can come back home, be home for the rest of the weekend, and be with our kids, do our family thing, but still get a lot of pickleball in.
Absolutely.
So that really makes us unique. And then in minor league pickleball, the second part to it is because it is a team event. If you go to a regular pickleball tournament with side out scoring and just a standard format, if I'm on the sidelines, this actually happened in a tournament one time. I'm in Dallas, Texas. It was a USP, I think it was a USAP tournament, and my husband's in the gold medal match, and he's playing, and he did some move, and he hit the ball, and I was like, way to go, Ryan, keep doing that, something in that verbiage. And the ref turns around and says, you cannot coach. And I was like, all I did was say you cannot coach. I was like, okay, don't want to get in trouble. With minor league pickleball, because the rules are different, we actually want people to coach. We want people to holler. We want people to clap, to be excited. Now, the coaching is in between the rallies, not while the ball is in play, but it just creates a whole different environment that the players and spectators actually get more involved in watching minor league pickleball. So to me, that's really exciting because my husband loves to coach. If you ever meet him, he is a coach.
Where's he at?
And he will tell me that he is not here. No, he's actually taking care of kids and
oh, he's got a hard job, man. I'm one of 4 kids, so it's chaos. I get it. Trust me. Keep going.
Yes, it's summertime, so he's actually doing pickups and drop-offs while I'm on the call with you. But
I'm sorry.
But yeah, so he can actually coach in between points, and he can go, hey, pick up their backhand, or hey, dink to this person, just little tips throughout a match versus in regular pickleball, you have to take a timeout to coach. So that creates that team uniqueness that really engages players even when they're not playing. So even when I'm not playing a game, like when I'm watching the men's game, I'm still involved and invested in that game because the outcome matters to my overall match. So that's just kind of a few quick little things about minor league pickleball and why it's such a different type of experience that people are really enjoying.
Yeah, I mean, just to be a one-day thing, I remember playing tournaments back in the day when I was a junior and then in college and the men's open and satellites. Waited around for hours. I mean, sometimes someone would walk or they show up late and you'd be all sore and, atrophy setting in and they're an hour late and they still want you to play. This is back in the 90s or whatever. It was a long time ago. I'm old. But I get it. That's awesome. So one day. All right, Caroline Luelf of MILP. It's not MLP, it's MILP. I made that mistake with Tanner Rice from DIP. He's like, he puts his hand on my shoulder and goes, it's MILP. I'm like, I did not know that. I'm sorry. He gave me a hug. Call Caroline. I was like, you got it. So I called her.
Yeah.
Tanner Rice is the director of pickleball at DIP, which is a sponsor of the show. We've done remotes there twice. Great place. I love it. So let's talk about you. What's your favorite paddle? What kind of gear you use? How's that work?
Yeah, so I am a sponsored athlete actually by Wild Monkeys Pickleball.
Yes.
We met Chris with Wild Monkeys a few years ago. He's a great guy and hit it off. And so just became good friends. And he was like, I liked his paddles. My husband liked his paddles. So we were like, let's do it. So definitely love the paddles that he has and been with Wild Monkeys for a couple of years.
Is there a particular style that did you like you and your husband use or your kids use that you want to name drop here or with your paddle company, Wild Monkeys? Is there a paddle type you use?
So I went through a few paddles, but my favorite is the Spirit. I've been using the Spirit now. I actually got one back when they were before they even got to launch. So I've been using the Spirit since before it was official. And I've loved the Spirit. It has a longer handle, and I have a two-handed backhand. Oh, yeah. So it gives me more control with my two-handed. I have zero paddle background, so everything at pickleball I've had to learn from scratch, versus my husband came from tennis.
That's right.
So, yeah. So he already had some stuff, but I feel like that paddle works really well for me. So I love the Spirit. It's a really good paddle. It gives me power, but also control, which is important for my style of game. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, that's good. So do you like mixed? You like mixed singles or doubles? If you're not playing MILP, which one do you prefer? Or are they all fun? Or just tell us the overall uniqueness that you feel with each individual event, singles, doubles, and gendered doubles.
Yeah, so if we're having a great weekend, I love mixed because I love playing with my husband. But I gotta say, there are some times when I'm like, if I never play mixed again, that's fine too. I mean, no, my husband and I, Ryan, we definitely have had, for the most part, really good time on the court. We've definitely had some hiccups. I remember one match, earlier this year, where we actually stacked me on the left. He was in the right. He was so mad. He's like, just take every ball.
Oh.
So we've had that. But then for the most part, we do love playing together. Our last tournament that we played together, we actually we went undefeated, he and I, together. So
which tournament?
Yeah, so it was actually DUPR 18 minor league pickleball in St. Louis.
Nice.
And we played the mix together, and we didn't lose the game all day, which meant we would have. I think we went 6-0 as a mixed team. Wow. So that was really fun, and we played really well together. We kind of figured a few things out. He realizes he can't coach me in the middle of a game. He can give me pointers, but don't coach me in the middle of a game.
Same meaning, different word. I love it.
Yes. But no, I mean, I really love all of pickleball. Sure. I mean, I didn't come from tennis, so singles is not necessarily my favorite, but I actually do enjoy playing it in a dream breaker. Part of the reason I don't like singles is because I can't last that long. That's too much. One match and I'm done. Yeah. But in dream breakers with minor league pickleball, to do 4 rallies at a time, I actually really do enjoy singles. I've played a couple tournaments way back when, but they were too much for me. So I do appreciate that about the minor league. And I really like all of pickleball. If I was younger in my 20s and didn't have 4 kids and could work out more and do all that, I would probably play all 3 disciplines all the time, but, limited. So,
well, yeah. I'm kind of jealous of you, Caroline, because we've had so many guests on and they've all been awesome, just like you. And you are part of the show. You're part of it. It doesn't matter. It's not my show. It's not his show, her show, their show. It's ours. Because I've been saying this for 2 years. If you take the time to come on here, you'll understand my passion. That's why I chased after you, because I knew after watching you, not creeping, you know what I mean, but just I could see a vibe of who's getting to it and who's not, and that's why I can't wait to have Ryan on. I'm excited. I want to see your kids if they play. We had Caroline Bassett. I'm gonna start tracking her Seguso, her kids, Teddy and Lennon, probably her older son, you know, and another Ryder Brown locally here in Frisco. They're gonna start tracking junior players. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's so awesome about the MILP. And I have here, it says what's coming up. Do you have any events coming up? And you put whole thing MILP, so you said at the beginning. So
I know, right?
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I truly had no idea. And that one day thing, I mean, let me finish my ADHD moment, is that I used to play a lot. And then I started the show. Mm-hmm. I'm still doing tennis to supplement my income, but I'm this close to getting my own 2 facilities, and I can just do remotes, do lessons, and do from the courts. And right now I have no home, and that's very sad. But I still teach when I can't, private HOAs. But I don't get to play. And that's awesome that you're in MILP with your husband, and you guys work so well together, which is, so is my wife, Melanie. She's my rock, truth, and just like your husband is yours. That's so awesome. I had Craig Bobo on last night, and he asked about how things were going. I said, they're tough, but I said, my wife has been there 24 years, married for 22 amazing sons, 15 and 13, almost 16 and 14, and you got to have the right spouse to do what we do. And so kudos to you all, and kudos to Melanie Reese, and any spouse out there that supports their spouse who's entrenched in racket sports, because it's not easy if you're going to be successful. If you'll be lazy and just go when you want, which is not my genetics, it's not in yours, I know that. So you want to do really well. So I am jealous, but I think it's awesome. What's your favorite memory in pickleball that you have so far? We've talked about MILP, we talked about you, we talked about some fun things. Let's go a little deeper here. Just tell me what's your favorite memories. There's no right, there's no one or two. You could do recent, which is shallow, or you could do deep, which is way back in the memory banks. What's your favorite memory?
So I think there's 2 things. Sure. So what I remember is we actually were sort of introduced to pickleball. My husband went through cancer in 2015 through 2018, and we were out in California, and a friend of ours in Colorado came to visit, because my husband was doing okay, but we didn't know what the outcome would be.
Yeah.
And he kind of talked a little bit about pickleball, and even kind of had us, hit a ball, but we were so not into that, because obviously Ryan's health was not very good. So we never really paid attention to, we're like, oh yeah, I must, kind of thought it was just some backyard game that kids would play, when you get on the grass and you put a net and you just play ball back and forth. Didn't pay any attention to it. But so fast forwarded to 2021, my husband's in cancer free now for a couple of years.
Well,
and
did you say he had cancer? Oh, did you say,
yes, he had cancer. Yes, he had cancer for a few years, and
it's all right.
Long story short was, the doctor didn't think he would make it out alive, but here he is today, alive, healthy, and well, and cancer free. Yeah. So, but in 2021, we were down in Florida. We were visiting some friends. We had an RV, so we were at an RV park, and every morning we'd take a walk, because my husband and I are big on taking walks, and we'd see those people on the tennis court, and my husband plays tennis, and he's like, what are they doing? That is not tennis. And they're on the tennis courts. What are they doing? I mean, just like, what in the world? And, like, we were there about a week, and finally into the second week, my husband's like, hey, I want to check this out. Like, they're there every morning. Like, I want to see what's happening over here. And I said, sure, go do it.
Get out of here.
He's gone for 3 hours.
Yes. I love Ryan.
And I'm like, dude, we have stuff with the kids today. I mean, what are you doing? Like, I'm texting going, where are you? What in the world? And he comes back and goes, hey, that was really fun.
No shit.
I'm going to go back
3 hours.
He's like, I'm going to go back tomorrow morning. And I'm thinking, well, you better be back by X time, because we have activities. This is our vacation. He's like, it's fine. I'm going to go back tomorrow. It was really fun. So he goes back the next day, same thing. I'm like, what? I mean, he's getting up earlier than he's supposed to, because he found out what time they really start. And I'm just like, what is happening? And so there's like 2 or 3 days left into our trip.
Oh.
And he's like, hey, they said you can come too. Like, you should come check it out. And I was like, check what out? Like, yeah, exactly. I don't play paddle sports. I'm terrible at paddle sports. He one time tried to get me into tennis, but we realized there was too much of a skill gap that we would never be able to play together.
I've done that.
And so he got, I show up there, and he's like, okay, I'm going to go play. They said they'll teach you how to play pickleball. And I was like, what the world? And so I always tell people, here we are in a trip to Florida to an RV park, which was mostly a snowbird park, which means mostly elderly, right? Playing pickleball. And that's what got us hooked.
That's awesome.
We came home from that trip.
Wow.
Now I was 3 months pregnant, so no, or
With what
a couple
number?
months pregnant,
Number
whatever
four?
it was.
Number 3 or number 2 or number how many?
That was number 4.
Okay,
that was number 4. He was my 40th birthday surprise. And yes, quite the surprise.
Awesome.
And so I came home to Oklahoma, and I was, it's the first trimester I was sick. And so Ryan found that there was already pickleball in Oklahoma, that there was already groups, there was a Tulsa Greater pickleball group with people that were higher level,
Oh, wow.
so he was full in. And so I love telling that story because we kind of had heard a little bit about pickleball even years before, but we weren't ready.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan was still he still had cancer at that point, and we just weren't ready for a sport. But man, as soon as it got reintroduced to us a few years later, that was in 2021, and now we're in 2024, and I work for pickleball now. I mean, who would have thought? Like,
unbelievable.
For pickleball, I work for a pickleball company. So I always love telling that story because it's that good old story you hear all the time. Show up, and all of a sudden you've been there for 3 hours having so much fun, and anyone can enter and learn the sport so quickly, which is why pickleball is growing so much. Is you can literally teach someone the game in 15 minutes, and they can start playing a game. Now, obviously, the skill set may not be great, but you can still play a game. You can still have fun. And the thing is, with pickleball, it's the pros are still mastering it.
Yeah.
There's so much to learn. There's so much to master in pickleball. So you can come in at any level and still have so much growth left. So if you're someone that enjoys getting better and thinking strategy and where do I need to get, it's still all there. Like there's so much to it that you can grow within the sport. So that's why pickleball really has taken off. But the other story that I always like to tell people is what I do love about pickleball, and something with minor league, is our son, our oldest, who's now 18, when we started playing, he would call that, the old person sport. That's mom and dad's sport.
Of course.
He was in high school playing basketball and all that stuff, and he was like old person sport. Well, last year, his girlfriend, it was kind of funny. We were in Mesa, Arizona. It's a golden ticket event for USAP.
Big place.
And my husband and I it was my women's partner and I, we were getting ready to go into the semifinal to go to the gold match. And I get a text, Mom, it's an emergency, call me. And I'm like, we're in Arizona. He's in Oklahoma going, oh no, what happened? And so my husband, he's like, I'll handle it. You go get warmed up for your game. And he's like, well, his girlfriend broke up with him. It's okay. It's not like a real emergency. It's an emergency to a teenager, but it's not a real emergency. So my husband said, hey, listen, since your girlfriend broke up with you, we want you to not be so, get kind of crazy, be a silly teen boy, right? 17-year-old, don't be making stupid mistakes. What if you start taking a few lessons in the coming weeks with the local pro? He's a really cool guy. He played.
What's his name? What's the pro's name?
Cal Hammond.
Okay.
And he played at Duke University. He was a D1 tennis player, and then he also, lived in California, and has had a pretty cool life. So my son would think he was a cool guy.
Oh, yeah.
And so with pickleball, so instead of my son, being a silly 17-year-old boy, because we all know 17-year-old boys can do I like to use the word silly because I could use other words that are not appropriate here.
I know. I got a 16.
And so pickleball, and that he started playing pickleball, and that would have been in May. Wow. He started taking a couple lessons. He liked it, so he took more lessons, and he really started playing in June. And now all of a sudden, pickleball is no longer mom and dad's, old person sport.
What's his
name? His name is Addison. And so he's 18 and he plays these minor league pickleball events with us. So he ended up playing DUPR 14 at the national championship last December.
Nice.
In California, and won that. That's an average of a 3-5 player. Wow. And this year he's medaling at DUPR 18 and DUPR 20, which is the 4-5 and the 5-0s, right? Yeah. And so, when you're 18, you can improve so much quicker than when you're 40.
try 50. Like now I'm 50 in 2 months. I know.
Yeah. So the cool thing about pickleball is that that's also brought our family together. At a time where most times 18-year-old boys want to do their own thing. They're completely separate from their parents. They want to be their own adult. My son's already graduate high school and all that. You know, he could have been an independent man, and instead pickleball has brought us back together. It's given us more reasons to play together, to hang out together, to travel together. We travel to events together. So it's bringing that in, that we're naturally 18-year-old boys tend to kind of go out, you know, and not that they, you know, for the most part, I mean, it's not that he wouldn't have loved us. It's just, that's just the usual trajectory. And now pickleball has brought him to be part of our ongoing things that we do. So I love telling that story because it just kind of shows another aspect of pickleball.
No, that's what the whole, it's like it might've been you or somebody. I always find one or two stories in these segments. And I mean, that is, I mean, cancer to trailer parks to getting your son back to liking pickleball to running my MILP, working for DUPR. I mean, your story's fascinating, and I can't wait to have you, Ryan and Addison, on at some point in time. If you will come back on after this, we can just have them on, and that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Oh, they love it.
All right, so let's go in the kitchen. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Favorite band. Favorite music. Favorite band right now. What are you listening to when you go walk on the court? What do you want to jam to? Or what do you like music-wise? It's up to you.
Gosh, that is an interesting question. So I change depending on my mood. So if I feel like I haven't been playing as well, I might put on songs like I'm Unstoppable or Rise. You know, there's kind of more like wordy things to kind of get me into things. But really, I just like pump up music, right? So I love 90s pop, rock kind of thing, and that's kind of what I tend to go back to. But just fun
90s,
music,
90s
just
pop,
energizing.
Yes. Do you have a favorite movie you like? Because what happens right now, Caroline Luelf, director of MILP, and DUPR superstar, cancer-free husband, amazing son, getting in there playing pickleball. Do you have like our listeners like to know? I get emails or something about, listen, I didn't think this was going to happen. All right. But sometimes Robert, my editor, gets emails about requesting things, and these stories are the things we get the most about. They love hearing these. So this is, we're in the kitchen here with Caroline. We're talking about talked about her music. Now we're going to talk about her favorite movie. You got a favorite movie? You binge anything? What are you watching?
You know, I have not been watching movies lately just because of business. Totally cool. But oh gosh, I'm trying to think. I know you said that, and I'm like, what is my favorite movie? That is a question I haven't been asked in forever. Well, I'm drawing a blank. Mine are like all the Star Wars. I like the Caddyshack. We could go with some Quentin Tarantino movies from the 90s, stuff like that. You know, if you don't have one, you know what? We'll move on. Let's go to, because we're going to come back on. We'll do the same thing. We'll figure out what's going on. How about you have a favorite sports team? You guys have a favorite sports team? Well, I follow Major League Pickleball. So, you know, sports teams, you know, that's what I do. I love watching DC Pickleball.
That's awesome.
So for this year, I would say it was DC. I was definitely a big fan of DC last year, so I like their owners. I've met some of the staff there, so there's some definite connections there. But yeah, DC Pickleball team.
That's Washington, DC, right?
Yes.
Very
yes.
Good. My brother works the government up there. He works at SAS. He lives there, so I'm sure he's watching. I need to email him if he's watching pickleball. All right, so you have a favorite pet? You guys have pets around the house? Not kids. Don't favor your kids. Actual pets.
You know, we are in. It's not going to sound good, but we are an anti-pet. We have an anti-pet policy in our home. We decided that we have enough kids to take care of. We don't need another one. So in our whole married life, we've been married 24 years. We've had 0 pets.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It doesn't. I like dogs.
Oh yeah.
You know, I just don't want to. We travel too much. We do too much stuff to be able to take care of animals. We'd be terrible pet owners. We would never be home with them.
You got 4 kids. Well, listen, I did not become a true dog lover until I met my wife. So I get that. We didn't have any pets growing up. We had 1, but that was it. And that was in, you know, so I get it. It's okay. My wife loves pets. We have, so let's go to, what is something about you that somebody would hear on this show and be like, that's pretty cool. That's weird, but it's so cool.
Weird.
Cool. Something about yourself that you think would be cool to tell our audience. I mean, so while you're thinking on that, some examples I've heard. I've had a person on last year who liked the Walmart watch completely sober, nothing going on. That's nothing wrong with that either. They go in there 2 a.m. I'm like, you go there 2 a.m. drinking Starbucks, people watching. Yep. Or I have people who, or like my example, my weird stories in 2002 or 3. I became a certified umpire for the USTA. I called the Sampras Roddick match at SMU, the center service line. Do you know what the center service line is? With both those guys serves on the ad side? It's hell. That's where they serve the ball. So I called that ball there. I called their shot, and I got warned by Randy McDonald. I love you, man. Big time rep here. It's not umpire here in Texas tennis for years. Saw me in college. Saw me in juniors, high school. He goes, the first time you scream something, it's not gonna come out. I'm like, whatever, man. It's gonna come out. Yeah, okay, so I see Roddick line up on that ad. Sorry, excuse me, and Sampras line up on the ad side. I was so scared because years watched him serve, man, in 90s. I mean, yeah. So guess what? The ball was out, right? And I said, huh? Oh, yeah, I screwed it up. And the people behind me were laughing at me. So guess what I did? About 2 games later, I didn't call it. I just moved. Spilled the drinks. It's good. And went back down like this because they made fun of me. So I went, That's all I did.
Yeah.
Now give us something. What do you got?
Well, so this is funny. So I love Major League Pickleball. I love watching all the teams. It's hard because I love the players. So
Sure.
the teams kind of change because of people get moved up.
Yes.
So last year, we decided, you know what, we're going to kind of pick a team. My husband and I were like, let's go with DC. We know the Kawamoto sisters, and they were playing for DC, and we had got to meet some of the staff at DC. And then my husband had a little bit of connection with the Newmans. So, you know, there was like, okay, we follow enough teams. We love those players. Just kind of pick them. So we were at Dallas, and this became a whole memes of pickleball, took this everything, but they hand us those horns, you know, those big horns.
Yeah.
Me and my family were the horns for Dallas. That literally horns are banned now. Memes of pickleball did a whole thing. They didn't get it on us, but the whole go to MLP and all you hear is car horns kind of thing. Because when it comes to sports, once I decide who I'm going to follow, who I'm going to go for, I'm a true fan. If you want leagues, everybody, they want me. They want me in the sense of I'm the kind of fan you want. I will holler, I will cheer, I will get into it, I will clap, I will stand up. You give me stuff, I will use your stuff, your clappers, your horns. So here we are. We were the horn people. And it was so loud. I'm sure so annoying to everyone else that wasn't at DC.
I think I was there. When was this? Because I remember hearing that. That was you guys?
That was my family, yes.
God, you guys were annoying. That was you?
But it was loud, and it did create more energy in the place, right?
It was great. But after like every
yes, it created something that you can't without that annoyance, but it's just kind of funny. We didn't bring them. They were just handed to us, and we were like I told you, we're engaged fans, so we were the people after every part.
I know.
Yes.
All right. Well, speaking of that,
that was us. So they're banned now from MLP. You cannot bring horns to MLP
because of the president of the MILP president. She banned it. Good job. Way to go. She and her family.
Yes.
Well, listen, look, I don't want to get to everything. I know we got other segments I wanted to add on, but we'll have you on again and we'll do fun stuff. But how would people get in touch with you, Caroline, if they wanted to maybe get a job with MILP? Maybe they want to, maybe they want to talk to you or any of your staff about MILP. How would they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so the cool thing is that with Minor League Pickleball, we've already had over 80 events this year, and we've already scheduled close to 200 in the U.S., so anybody can play Minor League Pickleball. There is a division for every skill level, every female, male, all ages from, I think our youngest so far this year is 12, and I saw a 74-year-old, as old as 74, has played at Minor League Pickleball. So you can go to DUPR.com/minor league and read all about minor league pickleball. It tells you the upcoming events.
Awesome.
If you want to look at the rules, the format, all kinds of things about minor league pickleball, it's there. DUPR.com/minor league. And through there, there's also, if you have questions, you can do a contact me kind of here, there as well. And so, yeah, so anybody can find out about minor league. Anybody can play. The best is to put your own team together because people generally want to play with their friends that they know. However, different organizers across the U.S., if you say, hey, I'll play, if you just find me a team, they'll take your information and go, all right, because a lot of times they end up putting a couple of teams together, and we have fun names with those. We'll call them the last minutes or blind dates.
The irrelevance, like Mr. Irrelevant.
Yes. I remember through minor league pickleball one time there was a team called Four Strangers, and they did not meet each other until
that's awesome.
that morning when they played, and they took third place. I'm like, look at that, third place, last minute team, because the organizer was like, hey, I got 4 of you that want to play. Would you mind just playing with each other? And they're like, yeah, we'll play. We just want to play pickleball. So DUPR.com/minor league gets you everything you need to know from format, rules, upcoming events, calendar, all that stuff. That's a great way to find out more and go play. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, one-day events. MILP Director Caroline Luelf. I can be reached Curtis at ReeseRacketSports.com or Curtis Reese Pickleball on the World Wide Web. Love to talk to you, sponsors. Love to have you on. I'm thinking that we might have to get out of here, Caroline Luelf. What do you think?
Sure. Yeah. We'll have to do it again sometime.
There's no have to. We will do it again.
We will. Yes.
It's option, not optional. You understand that? That's my old man would tell me when I lose. You can't be mad. It's option, not optional. And he'd always say, don't rationalize piss poor shot selection, pardon my language, Curtis, with a loss. What do you think of that? It's mean parenting, huh? Oh, well, Gug, I'm glad you came on. We're still recording. Anything funny you want to say?
Any what?
Anything funny you want to say before I stop this?
Anything funny?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I already shared my couple funnies.
Okay, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.